Hey, Kenny, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Thanks so much for taking the time, man. I always appreciate it.
Not my pleasure, man. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been about a year. You got more going on. It's super cool. And I got to tell you, Kenny, I was gonna do an introduction like I did last time with the number one albums and the Grammy nominations and the accolades and all that. But let's just forego all that and talk about Dirt on My Diamonds. Is that all right with you? That's good with
Yeah,
you?
that's fine, man. Yeah.
I thought so, man. I know why you do this, and it's not for awards. That's for sure. It's for great records like this one. Out in November last year, it's the latest record, Dirt on My Diamonds, Volume 1. I love to hear that Volume 1 thing, too. We'll talk about that. And you're preparing to hit the road, which is super cool. Uh, this record, any intention with it? When you go in and you're crafting a record, do you ever say to yourself, I want to make a record that has a little more brass, or I want to make a record that has blank. Anything specific you wanted to achieve with this one?
Man, when I go make a record, I just want to make a great record. So what's interesting is, sometimes I might go in with a preconceived idea, but most of the time I just go, you know what? Here's some ideas. Let's see where this thing goes. And just leave it, up to, for the inspiration to take us wherever it's going to go. And so at the end of the day, we made a record. I mean, to me, I think it's a great record. It's a very modern sounding record. It's current. It's exactly the recipe that that I set out with, from day one, right? Blues is the foundation of the music, and then, take it in multiple different directions to make it sound, current, make it sound different, make it sound original. And you got a lot of that on this record.
Yeah, totally. This record hits differently for me. You say it's a modern record. I definitely get that feel, but it also sticks to that traditional, the integrity of that old blues sound. And how you do that is, I don't know how you do it, but it works. It's fantastic. This one really hits differently for me. You record at Fame Studios in Muscle Shoals. That has to be, Aretha Franklin, Wilson Pickett, Etta James, all the latest country stars record there, Greg Allman, Clarence Carter, all of these people that have recorded in that room, in that place. Does that make for a more emotive kind of playing for you? Did you feel the ghosts of those people?
Well, I don't know about feeling the ghost, but we definitely went down there for the vibe, that's for sure. And so many legendary records were came out of that area and that studio and a couple of different ones down there. And we went down there to just kind of tap into some of that, and not saying that this album sounds like, a Skinner or an Allman Brothers or even like a Rolling Stones record. So many of those bands made albums down at Muscle Shoals, but but it did actually, influence the music that we wrote and made for this record. And I think it made it special for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's it's classic stuff. You told me last time we talked, you take about 25 guitars on the road with you. How many guitars do we hear on a record? How many did you play for this record?
Well, that's a good question. I didn't keep a list, but I know, I'm using a Les Paul on the Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting cover that we did, the Elton John song. I'm using like a Gibson ES330 on this blues song called Ease My Mind. And then the rest of them are, strats, like various strats. A lot of it is my 1961 Stratocaster that, it's my favorite guitar, and I've used it on every album since I got it. And, my new signature series that I have with Fender is on a couple of songs and some of my other custom shop strats. But, that's it for the most part.
Yeah, your hammer is your Stratocaster. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, that's right, man. So the song goes.
Oh yeah, man. The title of the record, Volume 1. That's attached to the end of this. Is there a volume 2 already sitting in the can somewhere?
So yeah, there is. It's already done, and we're just trying to figure out, when the right time is to release it. I'm thinking it's probably this. This album came out middle of November, so I'm thinking maybe Volume 2 will come out October or November of this year.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, you're going to have that 70 CUDA done by then for the cover, right? We're going to get a finished.
Well, I would hope so.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So yeah, that's the goal, right? That would be cool to have the finished product on the cover of the next album.
Totally.
We'll see, man. There's been a lot of delays building that car. It's been the slowest project car that I've ever been a part of.
Yeah. What a beautiful car. I think there's only like 30 or 40 of those in the world, I think, with the 440 engine. I mean, crazy. Yeah, totally cool car, man. That would be great to see the finished car on the cover of Volume 2, man. I'm crossing my fingers for that one.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Let's talk about Best of Times. This tune, maybe my favorite Kenny Wayne Shepherd tune, and that's saying a lot. I love this song. It's a song that incorporates rock, blues, funk, soul, has that brass to fill it out. But what I really love about it, that dual vocal. Noah takes the verses, you attack that chorus, that killer, just catchy chorus. How do you decide on a vocal thing? You're singing a little more, it seems. Do you, especially this one, how do you decide who's singing a lot of this stuff?
Well, it just depends. Like, a lot of times I'll have an idea. When we write a song, I'll be like, oh, this would be great for Noah, or, this would be good for me. But, all that gets determined in the studio. When you actually go to record the song, sometimes it doesn't work out the way you thought it was going to, and you switch, and then it works. And then sometimes it never works, and that song doesn't go on the record at all. So it's trial and error. It's whatever is most appropriate, whatever is best for the song. Sometimes I go, oh yeah, I'm going to sing this one. This will be great for my voice. And then I go in and it just doesn't cut it. And then I give Noah a shot at it. He kills it, and then it makes the record. So, and the opposite has happened as well. So you just never know until it's all said and done.
Yeah, and it's you got Noah, man. That's one hell of a singer you got there for sure.
No, he's great, man. He's been in the band now. Going on 27 years.
Yeah.
He joined me on my second album, Trouble Is.
Yeah.
And, he's always done a great job. He's like family. And, we've just evolved into this band now where we have 2 lead singers in the band, which just gives us that much more, twice the amount of tools at our disposal. And we have different voices, so we can cover a lot more sonic ground,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and that like Best of Times. I love that. That alternating vocal thing just really makes that chorus pop for sure. And that little pick drag accent inflection at the end of the first chorus. That's all Kenny Wayne Shepherd right there, man. That makes it all click.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Yeah. Been a lot of people's favorite song that they've heard on this record, and I think you're probably right. Some of that has to do with Noah singing the verses and I'm singing the choruses, and so you get both of us on that, and it's got some cool elements to it as well.
Yep. Like I say, that little that accents, the little inflections, that little pick drag, that attitude that goes in there. All harking back to the integrity of that traditional blues thing. It has a certain swagger to it, really, and that's what I think your music for me is all about. That's what you have that maybe a few others don't. There's little inflections like that that really make it special, really great.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Basically.
Yeah, absolutely. I watched the videos for the title track. And Sweet and Low, and you're singing. Your voice sounds great. Like you're playing, it's an extremely emotive thing. Do you like singing and playing, or does it? Do you ever feel like it takes away, like singing takes away from your playing, or vice versa, even?
Well, no, it's actually I figured out how to do both. To the point now where I feel like one enhances the other. The only thing is that there's some things that I can't. Sometimes I can't sing and play at the same time. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I can play and sing at the same time. Just depends on the guitar part.
Right.
But I figure, you figure out ways to work around all of that. I mean, you had a guy like B.B. King, right? King of the Blues. Like, he never actually sang and played at the same time. So what he would do is he would sing a line, and then when he finished singing the line, he would throw some guitar licks in after that.
Mm-hmm.
So he played guitar in between singing. And but there's some guys that can just play like anything, like this incredibly complicated guitar stuff, and sing on top of it. I'm not one of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible, really, and you do seem like one of those guys. Like I say, I watched the videos of you doing that, and it's always incredible to me. Guys can do that, because my brain just doesn't. Most brains don't function like that. But yeah, it's a really. Is it a learned thing, you think? Can you learn to do that, or is it just natural?
I think you can, for sure. I mean, when I first started playing, the idea of singing and playing at all was like just not an option. And so, with practice,
Mm-hmm.
I got to the point where I can do what I'm able to do now. I mean, if I spent hours and hours every day, trying to practice these complicated guitar parts and singing on top of them and stuff, sure, I could work it out, but like, I don't know. I found ways that worked for me to work around it, but anything is possible with enough practice, for sure.
There you go. Listen up, kids. That practice thing really works. Or you get a guy like Noah, and you don't really have to worry about it that much, right?
Yeah, man. Well, you got to put in the work first. Nothing comes without some kind of work and dedication.
Yeah.
And then once you do that, then you put in the work in the front end, and then the back end is a little bit easier.
Yeah, very cool. You mentioned Elton John's "Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting" on this record, a song we all love, right? But why cover that song? What is there something? Does that sit close to your heart?
I just, it's one of my favorite Elton John songs, probably because it's his most rock and roll song,
Right.
And it's a cool era for his career. And I don't know, I just have a list of cover songs that I keep handy where I'm going, I bet we could do a really killer version of this song or that song or whatever. I have a list, and then inevitably we're in the studio and I'll whip one or two of those ideas out and say, hey, let's give this a shot. Yeah. And so we did, and I think we did a killer version of it.
Yeah, totally, man. And that's just like you say, that's such a rockin' tune. It's really, and it fits great on this record. The sequencing of the record, was that something that you really paid attention to? I believe you do that, don't you? The sequencing has a lot to do with the record.
Absolutely. I mean, we make records the old-fashioned way, like in the way that we record them. We do it all as a band together in the same room. We're not emailing tracks back and forth to each other.
Yeah.
And then, I make albums that I hope people are going to actually listen to the whole record. And the intention is that you listen to it from the beginning to the end. And so the order is very important,
Yep.
The order of the songs is very important, and it takes you on a bit of a journey. It's just like putting a set list together for a concert. It's like you don't just throw a bunch of songs on a sheet of paper and go out and play. It's like there's some strategy in which songs go where, and at what point you slow things down and then speed them back up again, and all of that stuff, so that you take people on a journey. And the same as it can be said for making records, and so that's what we do.
Yeah, and it's so true. There's a lot of albums that I'll listen to where if the song was in a different place, I might not even like it as much. So very, very important. If you could sit down and have a conversation with any living person, who would that be?
Oh gosh, I don't even know, man. I hadn't really thought about that. Now, I've got to talk to a lot of my heroes. Like, I've met so many of my musical heroes.
Yeah.
I have found that, what I really enjoy is just finding people that are uniquely qualified to answer very specific questions. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, one time I asked B.B. King, when was the moment that he realized that he had surpassed his heroes, right?
Yeah.
And what did that feel like? Because like that's an interesting perspective to think, because the guy that you idolize, the people you idolize as your heroes, you never really consider yourself to be above them. But I'm like,
Right.
he's the indisputable king of the blues.
No
So,
doubt.
he absolutely surpassed like T-Bone Walker and all those guys that he looked up to. And he was, but his answer was the same answer I would have given. He said, you know what, I never really thought about myself like that.
Yeah.
I still look up to those guys, and I just never had that moment where I looked at myself as superior to them. And it's the right answer, but it's the true answer. And so, I find myself like in the moment, I go, you know what, this is the only guy that can answer that question. So those are the kind of moments that I kind of look forward to finding myself in.
Yeah, no doubt. That's so great, man. Yeah, and yeah, that is exactly. I know that's how you would answer. Your humility and just you're just a wonderful person doing wonderful music, and I appreciate that. Kenny, I know you got a packed in day. Tour starts on a boat. On January 28th, goes to February 4th on that cruise. Do you like playing the cruise?
I do, actually. Like, some people don't.
Right.
I actually enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun because you got a lot of great bands that are all kind of, captive on this boat. And
Right.
so, like, you do your shows, but then it gives you the opportunity to see so many other bands that you may not, have the opportunity to see. And I think that's one of the reasons why the fans enjoy those things so much. So,
Yeah.
I enjoy it for sure.
Yeah, totally. And I think it's the word captive. You kind of nailed it. That's why a lot of people don't like it. You can't get off.
Cruises aren't for everybody, but these things sell out so consistently in advance, like well in advance, that there seems to be a huge amount of people that really do enjoy them.
Yeah, totally. And I'm glad you do enjoy that boat. January 28th to February 4th, of course. But after that, the tour begins. It goes until May 18th in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And then you have a hometown gig, kind of a hometown gig, Baton Rouge anyway, in Louisiana in July. You're busy, man. Hope the family is good. Hope everything is well with you. This record, fantastic. Dirt on My Diamonds, Volume 1. Let's hear it. Play this stuff live. I can't wait to see you. Kenny, always a pleasure, always an honor to have you, man.
Thanks for having me. It's always great to talk to you as well.
Thanks, man. Until next time.
All right, brother.
All right, see you, man.